Hello everyone and welcome to the 12th round of the GP4 Offline Championship. I am George, your commentator for this series, and we are here for the 12th round at the Hungarian circuit in Hungary. So first of all, we will go through the race racing and the drive of the day before we get on to the first news for 2011. So the race racing was given an 8.25 out of 10, a pretty decent racing, a track which is famed for its overtaking at the old Hockenheim, not the new one of course. But anyway, the driver of the day was given to the winner of the race, Joseph Willows, after taking his first victory of the season and McLaren's first victory of the season. And some team news, speaking of McLaren, for next season, is that McLaren have confirmed they will keep Gal for 2011, and Red Bull have announced they will keep James Willows and Florian Volker for next season. However, Joseph Willows has decided to leave McLaren at the end of the season, which will spark a major interest for that McLaren seat. And now that we obviously have a space for McLaren, we also, don't forget, have a space at Ferrari with Will Nella, who announced his retirement a few races ago. But anyway, we are now here for the grid. So Joseph Willows takes pole position ahead of Florian Volker in second place, with Nicolas Gal third, Alex Southgate an impressive fourth for Mercedes. James Willows in fifth, followed by Waze Kuba in sixth, I should say. Excuse me. Felix Sontag is in seventh, followed by Evan Byrne, another impressive performance in eighth. He's been rumoured to go to a higher team for next year, having seen his performances, including winning the Turkish Grand Prix. Will Nella is ninth for Ferrari, not the qualifying that he would have wanted, with Adam Wolff alongside him in 10th. 11th place is Jay McKenzie, with Finlay Strachan in 12th, on the 6th row of the grid. And we now go on to the 7th row of the grid. In 13th place is the Sauber Viggo Holst, with George Roque in the Force India in 14th. Not had a good season, Roque. And as we move on further down the field, in 15th place is the other Force India, Varela Moitin. Both Force Indias have struggled this season, with both of them scoring just 6 points all season. Amar Khan is in 16th place, and following him in 17th is Sam Thompson and the Lotus of Michael Mocha, an impressive qualifying from the British driver. And as we move down to the 10th row of the grid, we have Jordan Maturin and Robert Ionescu, who still has had a pretty horrendous season, aside from scoring that 1 point in the last race at Hockenheim to get his first point of the season. And at the back row of the grid is Roman Quag and Kellen Bryce. So that is the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 70 laps around the circuit, quite a long race. We will now head to see what the weather will be like. And here is the weather. As you can see, it will be bone dry for the race, like most of the Hungarian Grand Prix have been in real life and also in the offline championship. So yeah, let's head to the race. For the 12th round of the season, Volker has got a commanding lead at the top of the standings. Can he continue his great season so far? So anyway, we are here on the grid. Willows on pole, Volker in second place, Gal third, and Southgate in fourth. Who is going to get the jump into turn one? It's a fairly long run into the first corner as the 5 lights are now coming on. And the lights are out and away we go, and Willows has got a good start, looks like, and he looks set to get the jump over Volker, and it looks like Gal's made a pretty good start from third place. He could get past Volker before turn one. Is he going to make the move stick? And yes, he does. He tries to even attack his teammate Willows the lead, and there was a bit of contact there, and Gal has taken the lead. What a start by Nicolas Gal. Willows won't like that at all. But Nicolas Gal takes the lead ahead of his teammate Joseph Willows, and there's a yellow flag in turn one, so I think something has happened at the back. So what has happened there? But what a dramatic start, and Gal's away and gone. As Sam Thompson, you can see he's out of the race. Oh, Amar Khan's gone off. Looks like at turn 2, I believe. Amar Khan's off. Roque, I don't know if he's been involved. Viggo Holst has been involved for sure. I don't know if Roque's been involved or not. And it looks like Roland Moitin, Roque's teammate, has been involved in it. So there's been a major crash at turn 1. And it looks like turn 2 as well. As there's Moitin's car being pushed off. Holst's car, I should say, is going to be pushed off as well. So what has happened here? So let's go back to the start. We're going to be on board with Viggo Holst. So he was running in 13th with his teammate Finlay Strachan just ahead of him in 12th. So he was coming into turn 1. It was going to get slow and tight there. And oh, he gets hit from behind. It looks like by a Williams, I think it was. And then he gets hit, and then he gets hit by Roland Moitin. So Roque got involved, but it looks like he got away with it. He didn't get any damage. So here's Sam Thompson, who goes up into 14th, goes past both Force Indians, but then he gets hit, and then he goes into Viggo Holst. So let's see what happens. So there is Moitin and Roque. Oh, and it's the Toro Rosso there. Looks like that was Amar Khan that started that all off. He cannoned into Moitin, who then went into Roque and spun him round. Fortunately, Roque didn't get any damage, but that was bad driving there from Amar Khan. As you can see, Roke just unfortunately got caught up in it. Was lucky not to get any damage from his own teammate there. But Roke has dropped all the way down to the back, so it looks like we'll probably go on board with our car next year. So let's see what happens. So he was running in 17th place, and as we come into turn 1, you can see he just doesn't slow down. He just cannons into Mojin, which triggers a chain reaction right in front of him. And unfortunately, that is those 3 out of the race. So how does Car go out of the race? So he was running in 13th. He was letting a lot of cars go past him. As he came into turn 2, oh, he got hit from behind. That's why. And he was spectacular up there from Amar Khan. He goes right into the wall. I think he got hit by, it looks like, Roman Quag in the Lotus. So everyone was going past, and then Car just seemed to come in front of it, come right into his path. So that wasn't good driving by Amar Khan at all there. And that is 4 cars out of the race on the spot on the first lap. Wow. I don't know if that's ever don't think that's actually ever happened. I mean, it didn't happen at Monaco this season, I mean, of all places, but wow. That was quite a crash there, and car goes off at very, very fast speed. Goes into the tyre barrier at the back right at turn 2. So we'll have a look at another view. So he lets Ionescu go past. He lets Kelly and Bryce goes past as well. And then he just, for some reason, just comes right in front of Roman Quag. Quag didn't really, it was not his fault really, it was 100% Car's fault there. I don't really know what he was thinking there. But he goes off spectacularly into the wall, and unfortunately sums up Toro Rosso's season so far. It's just not really happened for them. So that is Omar Carr out the race. So 4 cars out the race on the first lap. So wow, what a race we have seen so far. As here we look at Evan Byrne in 8th place, Will Miller in 9th, Wolf in 10th place. Byrne holding up these cars, it seems. They come through as here is Waze Kuba. Right behind it looks like Alex Southgate, and there was a battle for 2nd place, I think, between Willows and Florian Volker. As there go the 2 cars at the back off. So Willows still in 2nd place. Gal's already got a bit of a lead out in front. And Volker's right behind Willows, but will Volker try and take Willows coming into turn 1 as they come round turn 14 for the final time? And Volker is going to be right on Joseph Willis' slipstream. He's going to make a move on the inside as Gal sets the fastest lap of the race on lap 1. And Volker's making a move for 2nd on the inside of Willows into turn 1. And did he make it when the yellow flags were? I mean, they've just gone off, so I guess he might probably get away with that, Volker, but we'll see. As Roman Quag is in the pits behind. At the back, so that is unfortunately going to cost him a chance of getting anything from this race. As we're now on to lap 3, we're on board with Finley Strachan in the Sauber in 13th place. As we come through into the infamous turn 8, and Strachan's gone wide, and he's spun, and he's fortunately not spun back onto the track, so he's not going to hit any cars. That is quite lucky there. And he rejoins, but that was quite a spectacular spin. This is Jordan Maturin trying to get past Evan Byrne. Oh, he's got an electrical problem, so Evan Byrne's got a problem here. How unfortunate for the Irishman. His season's been going so well so far, but it's just luck. It's just not happened for him at this moment in time. And he lets the Virgin go past. Will he make it back to the pits, interestingly? He's only got a few corners left, as he's about to come round into turn 10. And will he make it into the pits? He's coming round into the penultimate corner, and it looks like he is going to make it to the pits just about. So that was quite lucky for Evan Byrne that his problem wasn't too terminal, that he had to pull off just before the pits, but that will cost Evan Byrne dearly come the end of the race. But he comes into the pits, so let's see what will happen come the end of the race, if he'll be able to recover any chance of points. He'll be stone dead last. Well, he might be 2nd last, depending on if Roman Quag gets past him. So he's into the pits. He'll be fueled for quite a while. So he comes out of the pits. 6-second stop from the Renault crew. And he comes out. Will he come out ahead of Quag will be the interesting thing. The answer is, I think he will be. And yes, he is. He comes out in 17th place. So here is Robert Ionescu in 10th place. And the Williams, Van Wolf is getting well out of shape there, coming into turn 4. That was quite a save there from Adam Wolf. He somehow managed to save that. He was getting well out of shape, and he nearly spun it right in front of Robert Ionescu. You can see just a little bit of ice skating around the corner there. It's a very fast corner, turn 4, and he managed to get away with it. And as he comes around the corner, so here we're on board, and there's a yellow flag out. So what's happened? There's a car off, and Roke's off, and McKenzie's off, and McKenzie's car is destroyed. Oh my goodness me! The whole car is, well, it's not even a car anymore. It's just car parts. just Formula 1 parts. And oh my goodness, what has happened here? So McKenzie was in 12th place and Roke was on the inside there. And oh wow, wow, McKenzie got flipped spectacularly there. Oh my goodness me, and there's part of the side pod there, just in front of him. So Roke got away without any damage. So I don't know if McKenzie had a problem, but he'd been passed by the Virgin there, and Roke was on the inside and unfortunately just clipped McKenzie there. I don't really know if that was anyone's fault. I mean, Roke wasn't on the inside line and had every right to make the corner. So I mean, tough one to say for that part. So he just got passed by Maturin, had McKenzie, and Roke. I mean, he was clearly on the inside, so he had already the inside. I guess McKenzie probably maybe just didn't leave him enough room, I guess. I mean, I think that's all I can say for that. Roke somehow managing not to get any damage from McKenzie's car there, but he got away with it anyway. So McKenzie out the race in quite spectacular fashion. I imagine he probably has an injury or so. I mean, he might go away with it because F1 cars are very strong, but we will see. So, I mean, I don't know what it was. I think McKenzie just obviously got a bad run off the corner, having just been passed by Maturin. And, I mean, as I said, Roke was on the inside, and his car does quite a few spectacular rolls and goes into the wall. So I imagine that probably hurt the most, going into the wall head first, essentially. So, wow, what a crash. That'll probably be one of the crashes of the season, I reckon, at the end of season awards. An award which McKenzie won't want to have, really, but I mean, someone's got to get something. But wow, as I said, that was a pretty spectacular crash, and I imagine that probably hurt McKenzie a lot. Let's hope he is okay after that. Very, very big crash there. What a dramatic 7 laps we've had to this Grand Prix already. Jeez Louise. Wow. If you can now take a breath and calm down, let's hope he's okay. He's going to have to be probably taken to hospital for that. And oh, there's been another crash, and Will Neller's been involved, and Will Neller's out of the race. And it looks like Adam Wolf's been involved in the Williams. And Adam Wolf is going to have to go to the pits, so Ian Escu's going to go past him, and so is Maturin. So Ian Escu is already up to the points from 20th place. He's up 12 positions, so what a start there by Robert Ionescu. But what happened between Wolf and Neller? Neller, who's retiring at the end of the season, this will not be the way that he would have wanted it to end. So it looks like Neller went wide, and he just came right back in front of Adam Wolf. I don't really know what he was thinking there, Neller. And that was a bit of a dumb move there on his part, and Wolf nearly goes into the front of Neller there, but manages to avoid him and also manages to avoid the wheel. But as I was saying, I don't really know exactly what Neller was thinking there. I mean, he'd gone wide, he'd lost the position, there was no way he was going to get it back. Well, he could have actually done if he'd stayed around the outside, but he clearly obviously didn't realise that Wolf was there. As now into the pits for his first start of the race comes Florian Volker. Volker leading the championship by a couple of margin. He's yet to retire from a race or finish a race outside of the points. I think his worst place finish this season, I believe, was 7th, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But anyway, it won't matter to him as long as he gets as many points as he can to get the championship. He'll come out, looks like probably just inside the points. He'll come out in 6th place, a 9.6 second stop from the Red Bull crew. Will he come out 7th behind Alex Southgate? And it looks like he will come out just behind Southgate, so that's probably not exactly what Volker would have wanted. It looks like he's going for the 3-slot strategy as we're now on board with Felix Sonntag in a Mercedes, running behind his teammate. And there goes Alex Southgate. He's not running behind him anymore, and Sonntag takes 6th place away. And Southgate, he was coming out of the chicane, he was coming into turn 7, and he just went way off the track there. He's lucky he didn't spin, but as he came through turn 8, he managed to rejoin the track. He didn't lose too much time, as now he's being overtaken by Florian Volker. And when I was speaking actually earlier of the infamous turn 8, it was actually the infamous turn 10. I do apologise for that. But anyway, Volker is making his way past Southgate after that error, but Southgate looks to be holding it round the outside. Is he going to try and keep 6th place from Volker? Great battling between these two, but Volker keeps it around the outside as they come through turn 4, and it's still side by side as they're heading into turn 5. And Volker's going to have to give the position back as Southgate comes through turn 5. He makes a mistake as there is a yellow flag out, and that is Alex Southgate again. He's spun again. Oh dear, it's all falling apart for Alex Southgate already. That's not what he would have wanted. Not what he would have wanted at all. As he just made a really, I don't know what happened there. I mean, he just made a really silly error there, Alex Southgate. It's just not been his season. He's definitely been shaded by his teammate, Felix Sonntag. I don't really know what it is with Southgate. He's just not performed at Mercedes since leaving Brawn, since coming runners-up in the championship. It's just not happened for him at all. And he drops, I think he dropped a couple of places, did he? I think he dropped Ionescu and Maturin, and yes, he did. So Maturin having a great race in 8th, and just as we speak of Maturin, he comes into the pits on that 16th for his stop of the race. So it looks like he is going to go with the 3-stop strategy as well. So it'll be interesting to see if a 3-stop or a 2-stop will work. It just depends on really how hot the race is and how the tyres, how quickly they will degrade as Maturin comes into the pits. So it looks like they are fueling him for a 3-stop. So Maturin comes out of the pits. He'll come out, looks like, either just outside the top 10. He will come outside the top 10 or rejoin in 12th place. Nicolas Gal, the leader, now comes into the pits for his first stop of the race. Gal, who is yet to win this so far in the OC this season. He could have won it at the British Grand Prix had he not made that mistake by Waze Kuba on the last lap. He unfortunately cracked under the pressure, and Nicolas Gal will rejoin in 2nd place behind Waze Kuba, who's yet to make his stop. As here is a battle between James Willows and Joseph Willows. The Willows brothers attacking each other coming into turn 1, and Joseph just keeps out in front of James Willows. There was nearly a collision there. They were essentially pushing each other through the corner, as here comes James Willows into the pits for Red Bull. So James announcing that he will stay on with Red Bull in 2011 alongside his teammate Florian Volker. A very, very strong lineup for next year. Probably will be a force to be reckoned with. Probably one of the favourites next season, if not the favourite. So he comes out in 8th place. He'll come out in some fresh air. Now into the pits comes his brother, Joseph Willows. So Willows, who is going to lead McLaren at the end of the season. We don't know yet if he's going to stay in the championship or not. We will have to wait and see come the end of the season. But Southgate is also in the pits behind him, and looks like he will just come into his pit box now. And yes, he does. Just comes in behind Willows as he goes out. So Alex Southgate, as I was saying, just hasn't had a great season. I mean, he's made quite a few uncharacteristic errors since leaving Brawn. I mean, Southgate has definitely been the better driver in the team. He is the number 1 driver. Alex Southgate is the number 2 for sure. As an 8.2 second stop for Mercedes, and Southgate is going to come out. Is he going to come out in 8th place? And it looks like he is. So he comes out in 8th. In fresh air as well. And now Robert Ionescu, who's running in 5th. A very, very impressive race from Robert Ionescu so far. I was just saying how he's had a pretty crap season so far. I mean, he's aside from scoring that 1 point at the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, where actually Alex Southgate made one of his errors by spinning off while running behind him. But Ionescu, you could say, deserved that point, as Alan Wolf is now out of the race. Alan Wolf, who's involved in the collision with Will Neller, and it looks like he's had a crash as well. And that was coming into, I believe that is turn 5. And it is. He just goes way wide. He just went way too fast. He never looked like stopping that car. I don't know what was going on there. As he came round turn 5, he was carrying way too much speed. And, oh my goodness. And now Kevin Bryce is out of the race. And that is coming out of turn 3. So what's happened to him? It looks like, is that an engine problem? I think it is an engine problem. And you can see the engine blows just coming out of turn 1 just before turn 2. And that's a spectacular engine blow. It blinds the cars in front of him. It blinds I believe that is Michael Mocho, and is that Florian Volker behind him? I'm not sure, but Sonntag got held up there. He had to take avoiding action there to stop him getting himself hit. As oh wow, look at that! Bryce's car goes right across the circuit as well. Fortunately, there were no cars coming through turn 2. And so he's going to get away. So he's going to get away with it. Looks like, or turn 3, I should say. And actually, the Red Bull there to slow down, take some avoiding action. It's here. We're on lap 31, and the Sauber's gone wide, and there's contact there again, and that is the Sauber out of the race. I believe that is Finlay Strachan, and it is Finlay Strachan. That was a collision there with Jordan Maturin, and Finlay Strachan is out of the race. Another crash in this race. As there you can see, Felix Sonntag is in the pits down below. So, unfortunately for Finlay Strachan, once again, he is out of the race. I mean, the bad luck really continues for him. He's never managed to avoid much of the bad luck. But here we go. He's running in 9th. He's running ahead of Maturin and George Roque behind him. So, he locked up coming into turn 2. And he did essentially the same thing that Neller did. And just came right back into the path of Maturin. But fortunately, Maturin didn't get any damage. And Roque had to brake sharply there to avoid hitting the back of Strachan, so he stays in this race. but Finny Strachan unfortunately doesn't, and that is him out the Grand Prix. Unfortunate there for the Scotsman, as Felix Sonntag, sorry, I was about to say Finny Strachan again. Felix Sonntag, I should say, comes out of the pits. It looks like, I think it was a 9.6 second stop, and now Alex Southgate's out of the race for Mercedes, and unfortunately, I may have jinxed it earlier on. His bad season continues, unfortunately. So what happened to Southgate? Did he have an engine failure or a technical problem? I'm not sure. But he comes round, and it looks like, and yes, it was a transmission. Well, it looks like a transmission, engine, and electrical problem, all three at the same time. So his car just went into complete shutdown. And unfortunately, that is Alex Southgate out of the race. That's another retirement. So we've had a lot of retirements so far in this Grand Prix. We're only about halfway through. Well, we are halfway through, I should say, because we're on lap 37. But Southgate is out the race. Into the pits comes Waze Kuba for Ferrari. I don't know if this is his second stop or not, actually. I don't remember him making a first one, but I could be wrong. Maybe we just didn't see it by the cameras. Not sure. But anyway, Gal leads, you can see, by a comfortable margin ahead of Volker by 10 seconds. As Kuba comes out of the pits, and it looks like he's going to come out just behind Joseph Willis, and yes, he does. And into the pits comes Florian Volker for his second stop of the race, doing the 3-stop strategy. See, they've fueled him short distance for the next stint. As he comes out, he does a 6.4 second stop. And where will he come out will be interesting. So is he going to come out in third place? The answer is, it looks like he is, yes, and he does come out, it looks like, ahead of Felix Sonntag, so that's important for him. As into the pits comes Evan Byrne, who's trying to recover from earlier on, where he had an electrical problem. So let's see how quick the stop will be for the Irishman. A 10.4 second stop, fairly long stop there from the Renault mechanics, but he comes out in 11th place. It comes out just ahead of Michael Mocho, well, just ahead of Michael Mocho. I think Mocho is quite far behind, as now James Willows, Volker's teammate, comes into the pits. We're out on lap 45, well over halfway now, and it looks like Gao is in a league of his own in the lead at the moment, unless he has any problems. But James Willows comes into the pits. A 6.4 second stop, a very fast stop there from the Red Bull crew. And where will he come out? He will come out, looks like, in 6th place, and he comes out behind Waze Kuba, and looks like Joseph Willis there, so it could be a battle on there. Felix Sonntag comes into the pits for Mercedes. Been a consistent performer, you could say, about Sonntag this season. I mean, he has been involved in a couple of issues, but I mean, he's been pretty consistent. I mean, P4 I think is his favourite place so far this season. Anyway, he comes out into 7th, a 9.3 second stop from the Mercedes team. We've only got 12 cars in the race, so that means nearly half the cars are already out. We're only on lap 48 now, as Joseph Willows comes into the pits for his second stop of the race. And let's see how much the team are going to fuel him. I don't know. I think Joseph Willows might go to the end. I think he could have enough fuel because they've got 22 laps to go. So we will see. That'll be interesting to see come the end of the race. So Joseph Willows comes out in 7th place. Lap 48 of this race. He comes into turn 1. As there is Mikael Skau. So it looks like Mikael Skau could lap his teammate soon, which would be surprising. Oh, that is George Roque out the race. And that means half the field have now officially retired from this Grand Prix, with Roque pulling off to the side with what looks like an engine problem. And let's see. And it was indeed an engine problem, and Roque is out the race. His miserable season continues. He was running in 10th. He might have had a chance of points, but unfortunately that has just gone up in flames or in smoke, whatever the way you want to say it. And Roque unfortunately blocks the Red Bull coming around the corner there, and he had to get out the way there of, I believe that was Florian Volker, as Roque pulls off the side after coming around turn 3 down the short straight, and he goes into the wall in frustration. So Maturin is currently still in the points there for Virgin, so we could have Virgin's first points of the season if it continues this way, as Robert Ionescu now comes into the pits for Toro Rosso. It looks like he could get more points in this race after scoring his first points at Hockenheim. So let's see if he can get more than just 1 point this race, but we will see. 7.2 second stop for Ionescu. Michael Mocha comes into the pits as well for Lotus, and he will make his final stop of the race, as we've now got only 16 laps to go of this Grand Prix. So into the pits comes Mocho. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get anything from this race. He'll be in dead last, as it looks like Maturin will get Virgin's first points. However, Mocho scored 3 points in China, so that means Virgin would need to get another points finish. Well, they need to get essentially 6th place to get level on points with Michael Mocho, or even get a better one than that. But that is highly unlikely. As into the pits comes Volker, and out he comes for his final stop of the race. 6.1 second stop there for the Red Bull. And out the pits he comes out ahead of Waze Kuba, and there is James Willis just behind him as well. Waze Kuba now comes into the pits for his final stop of the Grand Prix, as we now have just 10 laps to go of this race. So how quick will this stop be from Waze Kuba? Kuba will keep the Ferrari seat for next season. What will be interesting to see is who is going to be his teammate. Will Kuba then become the #1 driver? There have been a lot of arguments around the Red Bull, the Ferrari team, I should say, about who is the #1 driver, with Nella stating quite clearly that he's the #1 driver ahead of Kuba. But now it'll be interesting to see what happens for next season, if that will be the same. As we're now on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, and here is your race leader, Mikolas Gau, who looks set to lap Joseph Willows in 6th place, and it looks like that's Robert Ionescu that he's just lapped behind him. So Ionescu is set to get some points in 7th place, and Maturin is still in the points in 8th, so Bernard's not been able to pass him. So that is good for Virgin. But here is your race leader, Mikolas Gau. He's coming through turn 4, and he's comfortably in lead. He's got a 37-second lead over the rest of the pack, and he has dominated this race ever since taking the lead quite forcefully, you could say, from Joseph Willows on the first lap. And unfortunately for Joseph Willows, the pace has just not been there for the Brit. And for Mikolas Gau, he's going to take the win in front of his home crowd. The crowd are going to be absolutely delighted with this. One thing I nearly forgot to mention as well, that Mikolas Gau is Hungarian at his home race, and the fans are going to be absolutely delighted with this, as I just said. And Gal comes through, so it looks like he did the 3-stop strategy, same with Volker, and that got them comfortably ahead of the rest of the field. So it looks like 3-stop was probably the way to go, although James Willis was in 3rd and Sontag in 4th with 2 stops. But anyway, Mikolas Gau is coming round the final corner. He's coming round turn 14, and Mikolas Gau comes onto the pit straight, and Mikolas Gau wins and takes his first win of the season and takes McLaren's 2nd in a row. Congratulations to him. Evan Byrne is going to come home in 9th place. He just misses out on the points, which means that Jordan Maturin will take 8th place and take Virgin's first points of the season, as Roman Quag comes home in 10th place. As here comes Florian Volker well behind Mikolas Gau, but he strengthens his lead in the championship as he comes round the penultimate corner, and now he comes into turn 14. Volker will be happy with this. He may not have won, but with all the rest of his rivals, most of his rivals behind him, this will increase his lead in the championship. There's just no stopping Volker right now, as his teammate James Willis is set to come home in 3rd place to make it 2 Red Bulls on the podium, a Red Bull 2-3. So James Willis comes across the line, he takes 3rd, and Felix Sontag is going to take another impressive 4th place for Mercedes, and he comes across the line, and here he comes. He'll be very, very happy with that. And in 5th place, as well as we see, I should say, Michael Mocho in 11th place, now coming across the line with Waze Kuba, that is who it is, in 5th place. And in 6th place will be Joseph Willis. But here is Jordan Maturin, who's going to take Virgin's first ever points of the season. So congratulations to him. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean that they will overtake McLaren in the Lotus in the standings. But it is still something for Virgin. But there is your race winner, Mikolas Gau, in front of his home fans. He'll be very, very happy with that. He'll be partying long into the night. So now we will go to the race results of what has been a quite thrilling Hungarian Grand Prix, I have to say. Only half the field finishing. But here are the race results. So Mikolas Gau wins ahead of Volker in 2nd, James Willis 3rd, Sontag 4th, Kuba 5th, Joseph Willis 6th, Ionescu 7th, Maturin 8th, Byrne 9th, Quag 10th, and Mocho in 11th, with all the following drivers retiring from this race: George Roke, Alex Southgate, Finley Strachan, Adam Wolff, Kellen Bryce, Will Neller, Jay McKenzie, Amar Carr, Rodolphe Moitian, Vigor Holst, and Sam Thompson. So now we will see the fastest lap of the race, which was set by Florian Volker, actually. just ahead of Nicolas Gal, with Felix Sontag third, James Willis fourth, Kuba fifth, Ionescu sixth, so he was impressive with his pace. Joseph Willis only seventh, 1.6 seconds off the pace. Jordan Maturin eighth as well, very impressive from him. Southgate ninth, Rote 10th, Quag 11th, Wolf 12th, Byrne 13th, Nella 14th, McKenzie 15th, Montra 16th, Strachan 17th, Bryce 18th, Hulse 19th, Moyton 20th, Card 21st, and Sam Thompson in 22nd. Although those four drivers obviously retired from the race due to being involved in that first lap crash. So here are your race standings. So Volker leads James Willis by 26 points, with Mikolas Gal 4 points behind in third place, with Willis on 59 and Gal on 55. Kuba is 7 points behind in fourth, with Nella just 2 points behind him in fifth. Joseph Willis is in sixth place, 2 points behind Nella, so it could be an interesting battle for fourth place, or maybe even third. That could still be on. Sontag quite a long way away, 15 points behind the seventh, with Evan Byrne 8th with 20. Southgate 9th with 16. McKenzie 10th with 15. Wolf 11th with 9. Sam Thompson 12th with 8. Viggo Holz 13th with 7. Moychin with 6, as well as his teammate Roke with 6. Strachan 16th with 5. Mocho 17th with 3. Ionescu 18th with 3, Amar Khan 19th with 3, Maturin with 1 point in 20th, with Quag and Bryce the only drivers yet to score points this season. And Red Bull leading McLaren in the Constructors' Championships by 45 points, with Ferrari 5 points behind, and they've got a massive gap to Mercedes in fourth place, almost 50 points, 49 points to be exact, with Renault 10 points behind Mercedes, Williams in sixth with 17, Force India and Sauber with 12, Toro Rosso 4th, Lotus 10th, and Virgin 11th, which means every team has scored a point in the Constructors' Championship for the first time since 2008. So congratulations to Virgin for scoring their first point, and congratulations to Maturin for scoring his first point as well. Well, that has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I thought it was a great race. Don't forget to vote for your driver of the day and give the race a rating out of 10. You know the drill by now. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you for round 13, the Italian Grand Prix. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you there. Goodbye.